Om Tat Sat. My humble prostrations to the all-pervading Brahman, to my worshipful Guruji, Swami Jyotirmayanandaji Maharaj, to sage Narada and all other sages and saints, and to each of you divine soul watching today's satsang. We are currently studying Narada Bhakti Sutras. We are on chapter number 4, the final chapter, Glory of One-Pointed Devotion, and we will be studying sutra number 80 today. Commentaries by my worshipful Guruji, Swami Jyotirmayanandaji Maharaj, narrated by myself, Swami Nikhilananda. So let's get started. Sutra number 80, chapter 4. Sa Kirtyamanah Shigrameva Avirbhavatya Anubhavayati Cha Bhaktan. Let's repeat. Sa कीर्त्यमानः शीघ्रमेवा अविर्भवत्य अनुभावयति च bhaktan. Meaning, when God is thus glorified through devotion, he indeed manifests himself speedily before the devotee and causes the devotee to realize him. This is the state where the devotee finally meets his divine form of God, sees God in, gets that God realization experience, in other words. So, as a devotee practices Bhava Samadhi, Bhava Samadhi is a highly ecstatic state where the devotee is experiencing horripilation and presence of the divinity. So he experiences increasing closeness to God until he finally attains Mahabhava Samadhi. So the Bhava Samadhi, which is emotional samadhi, different kind of emotions are taking form. It then achieves the high state of Mahabhava. When Mahabhava Samadhi sweeps over the soul of a devotee, all his illusions are removed, and like a river that merges into the ocean, he becomes one with the Supreme Self. That, in essence, is the state of mukti or liberation or self realization. So, Mahabhava Samadhi, which happens through intense devotion and through divine grace, the devotee develops the following four stages or types of liberation or mukti. The first one is called Solokya Mukti. That means that a devotee becomes aware that he does not belong to the mortal world, but he belongs to the kingdom of God, abode of God. He's like a person who lives in the city of a beloved king. So, therefore, it's a very high state, but the next stage is even higher. That's called Samipya Mukti. Samipya means very close to somebody. He experiences increasing proximity to God, like a person who has the privilege of coming into the presence of the king. So, in the first instance, it's like being in the same city where the king lives. Here it's like you're getting a glimpse of the king himself. The third one is called Sarupya Mukti, which is higher than the first two. This is being immersed in the divine consciousness. He develops a likeness to God. That is, he is like a person who has become a constant companion to the king, so much so that at times he begins to represent the king, just like sages and saints are representatives of God on this human earth. Similarly, this bhakta is so joined with his bhava feeling that he starts to experience oneness, or close to being a close counterpart, just like Hanumanji was to Lord Rama. And the fourth one is called Sayujya Mukti. This is higher than the first three. Sayujya Mukti means he becomes absolutely merged with God, the ultimate goal of devotional movement, which means just like a river that merges into the ocean, then becomes the ocean. It loses its own identity. Much in the same way, the devotee becomes one with God. So, this is, of course, the highest state of Mahabhava Samadhi. So, again, the four types of liberation or mukti are Salokya Mukti, Samipya Mukti, Sarupya Mukti, and Sayujya Mukti. And anyone achieving any one of them is really a very high state, but as I explained, each one is higher than the prior. So, with Sayujya Mukti being the goal for very highly elevated sages and saints and devotees who have achieved that highest state. So, this is the deep meaning of this sutra. This is Swami Nikhilananda. Om Tat Sat.